Why, hello, beloveds. How are you guys? I miss you. Hey, I want to read about Job. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been had some iffy type of feelings about Job. Because I've always felt like it had to be a sinister God that sick the devil on Job. Like, I, for the life of me, don't understand why God would seek the devil on somebody that's so faithful, somebody that love him so much. Like, I would be so upset if I knew that God did that to me purposely. Like, you mean to tell me God does things like this on purpose? So, since I really don't have a clear, I'm going to say I don't have a clear understanding of Job. So I want to look at Job with different eyes, with a different understanding. So I want to have a Bible read. So if y'all bored, and y'all don't, you know what I'm saying, can't go to sleep, you want to sit up with me and let's discover some things about Job, because it's some beautiful things in here about Job. And it really helped people who really done lost some people and lost some things and done lost everything and at their wits end and feel like they getting attacked on every end. If it ain't one thing, it's another. They can't come up for air. It's like, why don't you just kill me, Lord? Why you letting me live? Why are you letting me suffer, y'all? I have been there. I feel like I have been through my Job moments. Sometimes I think I have several Job moments. What about y'all? And sometimes I ask myself why God chose me to let me go through such a horrible experience, but then and again it's such a beautiful gift. So you have to count it all joy like you do. I can be mad about my life. I could say I'm too young to be walking around with this heart issue, walking around with a heart transplant. I'm always at the hospital. Oh my God, y'all. I go to the hospitals. It's like my second home. But I can't complain because I got one to go to and it's loving people there. And thank God that I do have an issue that somebody can see about. God putting knowledge in people to see about, because y'all, heart transplants are serious. It's a serious thing, and it ain't a whole lot of people walking around with a heart transplant. A lot of people don't live long, so I consider myself blessed. And but it's been times, y'all, where like this year when I was in rejection and my heart went 10% twice. I went in rejection twice this year, 2023. I was like, no, no. I'm tired, Lord. If you want me, come and get me. Why are you taking me through all of this? It's so miserable. But then when you look at the beauty of it, when you look at the blessings in it, when you look at the lives that you touch, then you say it's all for joy, it's all for science, really, because I feel like I'm a guinea pig, y'all. But it's gonna help somebody else that has not been through some of the things that I have been through. So I thank God that I'm a case study. I thank God that I guess I am chosen to go through this and nobody else in my family has to go through this. I walk this walk. You know what I'm saying? It's a hard walk to walk. And I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. But you have to count it all joy. But I have been there where I have went off on God. I ain't want to hear nothing nobody had to tell me. I was just sick of hurting and in pain and can't think straight. You ever been so sick you can't pray? You know what I'm saying? I got a song that say that. Man. Say if you haven't experienced it, just keep on living. Okay? Now we finna read Job, y'all, because I want to really understand what God was up to when he sick the devil on Job. Now, I don't know if I'm right, but I feel like he sick the devil on Job. I don't think Job was on the devil mind. I think God put Job on the devil mind. Now listen at this. We finna read Job, cause we finna figure this out. What made God do this to somebody that love him so much? Cause y'all, I love him so much, and all the stuff Job went through, God, please don't do that to me. Please don't do that to me. Like this all I can handle right here. Job had to deal with a lot, and it seemed like all his stuff happened in one day. One day, y'all. Okay, here we go. And I'm reading from the Holy Bible with Deuteronomical and Apocryphal mixed. Okay, so we finna start on Job. It says, Satan tests Job. There was a man named Job living in the land of Uz who worshiped God and was faithful to him. He was a good man, careful not to do anything evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters and owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 1,000 head of cattle, and 500 donkeys. He also had a large number of servants and was the richest man in the East. Job's sons used to take turns giving a feast to which all the others would come, and they always invited their 3 sisters to join them. The morning after each feast, Job would get up early and offer sacrifices for each of his children in order to purify them. He always did this because he thought that one of them might have sinned by insulting God unintentionally. When the day came for the heavenly beings to appear before the Lord, Satan was there among them. The Lord asked him, "What have you been doing?" Satan answered, "I have been walking here and there, roaming around the earth." "Did you notice my servant Job?" the Lord asked. "There is no one on earth as faithful and good as he is. He worships me and is careful not to do anything evil." Satan replied, "Would Job worship you if he got nothing out of it? You have always protected him and his family and everything he owns. You bless everything he does, and you have given him enough cattle to fill the whole country. But now, suppose you take away everything he has. Will he curse you to your face?" "All right," the Lord said to Satan. "Everything he has is in your power, but you must not hurt him himself. You must not hurt Job himself." And then Satan left. Job's children and wealth are destroyed. One day when Job's children were having a feast at the home of their oldest brother, a messenger came running to Job. "We were plowing the field with the oxen," he said, "and the donkeys were in near pasture. Suddenly, the Sabines attacked and stole them. They killed every one of your servants except me. I am the only one to escape to tell you." Now listen at this. Out of all of this that happened, only one person came back to tell him. Before he had finished speaking, another servant came and said, "Lightning struck the sheep and the shepherds and killed them all. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." Come on now. That's 2 times. 2 times, back to back. And you the only one lived to survive. Before he had finished speaking, another servant came and said, 3 bands of Chaldeans, raiders, attacked us, took away the camels, and killed all your servants except me. I am the only one who escaped to tell you. Y'all, that's 3 times. This is how you know when an attack has been sent to you. It'll come to you. It'll keep on coming. It might change the way it comes, but it try to have the same outcome. This is how you know when you being spiritually attacked. If it can't get you this way, it gonna come at you another way. If it can't get you that way, it's gonna come at you another way. But it's all trying to do the same thing. Take, kill, and destroy you. Now that's the third person. Before he had finished speaking, another servant came and said, your children were having a feast at the home of your oldest son. When the storm swept in from the desert, it blew the house down and killed them all. I am the only one who escaped to tell you. Y'all, that's 4 people. Have y'all paid any attention to Job? Have y'all really read Job? Then Job got up and tore his clothes in grief. He shaved his head and threw himself face downward on the ground. He said, I was born with nothing and I will die with nothing. The Lord gave and now he has taken away. May his name be praised in spite of everything that had happened. Job did not sin by blaming God. Ooh, ain't that hard? Ain't that hard? All this happened in one day. Don't it seem like this happened in one day, right? It did say the next day, then the next day, then the next day. This just kept happening. One person coming in. I'm the only one survived. 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 4 times, y'all. He done been struck. Satan tests Job again. When the day came for the heavenly beings to appear before the Lord again, remember this happened at the first time the heavenly beings came and then Satan was in the midst. Satan was there among them. The Lord asked him, where have you been? Satan answered, I have been walking here and there roaming around the earth. Did you notice my servant Job? The Lord asked. There is no one on earth as faithful and good as he is. He worships me and is careful not to do anything evil. You persuaded me to let you attack him for no reason at all, but Job is still as faithful as ever. Now this is what God said. Y'all, come on. Is it 2 gods in the Bible? Did a loving God do this? This has always been my question. And look how he was just bragging on Job. Oh, he don't do nothing wrong. Do that sound like our God? Like, do that? I don't know. We finna keep on reading because I don't want to judge, y'all. I don't want to lean on my own understanding. He said, did you notice my servant Job? The Lord asked. There is no one on earth as faithful and good as he is. He worships me and is careful not to do anything evil. You persuaded me to let you attack him for no reason at all. This man said, you persuaded me, but he the one said, have you considered my servant Job? I ain't getting it, y'all. But Job is still as faithful as ever. Satan replied, a person would give up everything in order to stay alive. But now suppose you hurt his body. He will curse you to your face. He said it again. I'm saying it, y'all, because it got an exclamation mark right there. Then Satan left the Lord's presence. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It said, Satan replied, a person would give up everything in order to stay alive. But now suppose you hurt his body. He will curse you to your face. So the Lord said to Satan, all right, he is in your power, but you are not to kill him. Then Satan left the Lord's presence and made sores break out all over Job's body. Job went and sat by the garbage dump and took a piece of broken pottery to scrape the sores. Satan caused sores to get on Job's body. So Satan is the one that causing sores to get on your body. He's the one that caused sores. And Job broke the pottery and scraped the sores. His wife said to him, you are still as faithful as ever, aren't you? Why don't you curse God and die? Job answered, you're talking nonsense. When God sends us something good, we welcome it. How can we complain when he sends us trouble? Even in all this suffering, Job said nothing against God. Still, this man held his composure, and God and the devil kept on pushing this man and pushing this man and pushing this man. You done took everything from this man. You done did everything you could possibly do to this man just to see if this man will curse you if you took his stuff, just to see if he worshiping you just because he got a lot of stuff. Don't that sound like two egos, two weenie wangers having a contest? I've always had an issue with Job. I don't know about y'all, but okay, we finna keep reading. Job's friends come. 3 of Job's friends were Eliphaz from the city of Teman, Bildad from the land of Shur, and Zophar from the land of Naaman. When they heard how much Job had been suffering, they decided to go and comfort him. While they were still a long way off, they saw Job but did not recognize him. When they did, they began to weep and wail, tearing their clothes in grief and throwing dust into the air and on their heads. Then they sat there on the ground with him for 7 days and nights without saying a word, because they saw how much he was suffering. Oh, do you have friends like that? Oh, just to sit there, go through your pain. You hurting, they feel your pain. They ripping their clothes off. They see your pain and they don't say nothing. As long as you quiet, they just want to be there with you. They just want you to know that they got your back in your time of trouble. Do you have anyone to come and sit with you in your time of trouble? How good have you been to people? Because remember, Job was good to everybody. Job taught. People loved Job. Job was a good man. He was a just man. Are you? If you was in your time of need like this, would anybody come sit with you? Would anybody come and clean you if you needed to be clean? Would anybody come help clean your house if you too sick? Would anybody feed you if you can't cook for yourself? Would anybody just sit with you while you in pain and don't judge you? I have to thank y'all. I have that. I have that. I can say I have that. Wow, I have that. It said Job's complaint to God. Now I get Job can't take it no more, y'all. Finally, Job broke. Look, I ain't even know if I'm finna say that. Finally, Job broke the silence and cursed the day on which he had been born. This is Job speaking. Oh God, put a curse on the day I was born. Put a curse on the night when I was conceived. Turn that day into darkness, God. Never again remember that day. Never again let light shine on it. Make it a day of gloom and thick darkness. Cover it with clouds and blot out the sun. Blot that night out of the year and never let it be counted again. Make it barren. Make it a barren, joyless night. Tell the sorcerers to curse the day. Those who know how to control Leviathan. Keep the morning star from shining. Give that night no hope of dawn. Curse that night for letting me be born, for exposing me to trouble and grief. I wish I had died in my mother's womb or died the moment I was born. Why did my mother hold me on her knees? Why did she feed me at her breast? If I had died, then I would be at rest now, sleeping like the kings and rulers who rebuilt ancient palaces. Then I would be sleeping like princes who filled their houses with gold and silver, or sleeping like a stillborn child. In the grave, wicked people stop their evil, and tired workers find rest at last. Even prisoners enjoy peace. Free from shouts and harsh commands, everyone is there. The famous and the unknown, and slaves at last are free. Why let people go on living in misery? Why give light to those in grief? They wait for death, but it never comes. They prefer a grave to any treasure. They prefer a grave to any treasure. Oh my God, I have been there. I have said, Lord, just stop letting me wake up. Just stop letting me wake up. I can't take it no more. No more needles, no more knives, no more surgeries, no more tubes, no more comas, no more hospital stays, month after month after month. No more medicine, no more doctors, no more white coats. No more. I have begged for the grave. I feel Job. I feel Job. They are not happy till they are dead and buried. God keeps their future hidden and hems them in on every side. Instead of eating, I mourn, and I can never stop groaning. Everything I fear and dread comes true. I have no peace, no rest, and my trouble never ends. Let's stop right there for a minute. This is why all of this happened to Job. I'm finna read this. I don't know if y'all caught this. But all this happened to Job. Look at everything that Job had. Look at what he said. Everything I fear and dread comes true. I have no peace, no rest, and my troubles never end. See, when you find God, when you become righteous, when you put on God's words, you gotta watch your mouth. You can speak death on yourself. You can dig your own grave. He was always afraid of losing what he had to constantly be thinking about his wealth and all of the glory that he had been given. And he had to have said, what would I be without all of this? This is why God said, have you considered my servant Job? Because when we speak negative, we get negative. When we live in fear, we get fear. When we're afraid of losing, we lose. Now, after Job done said this, This is what his friend Eliphaz had to say. Job, will you be annoyed if I speak? I can't keep quiet any longer. Remember, they were sitting there and quiet with him days after days after days because they knew their friend was in pain. And sometimes you don't want to hear nothing nobody gotta say. You don't need to hear nothing positive right then. You need to just feel and kind of grasp what's going on and try to get a grip. Sometimes words just irritate you. Sometimes you just don't need a kind word. You don't need nothing. You just need silence. And there's a friend that'll give you that. And those friends did that for him. Now 4 people came and told him they was the only one survived after all that happened. And then 3 friends came to sit with him to go through what he was going through. See, even in the midst of our doom, God have rams in the bush to slide us over when we start going to the left. He kind of nudge us back over to the right, thank God. But this is what Eliphaz had to say. Job, will you be annoyed if I speak? I can't keep quiet any longer. You have taught many people and given strength to feeble hands. When someone stumbled, weak and tired, your words encouraged him to stand. Now it's your turn to be in trouble, and you are too stunned to face it. You worship God, and your life was blameless, and so you should have confidence and hope. Think back now. Name a single case where someone righteous met with disaster. We get so used to everything working out. We get so used to teaching people. We have to see, do we believe the words that's coming out of our mouth? Do we live by our own words? Do you believe everything that you're teaching everybody? You know you're not going to be strong all the time. When you preaching to other people, you're also preaching to yourself. He said, now it's your turn to be in trouble. It's your turn to be in trouble. It makes me think about that song, Be Grateful. And you know the lyrics, it say, God has not promised me sunshine. That's not the way it's going to be. But a little rain mixed with all the sunshine, a little pain makes you appreciate the good times. Be grateful. God desires to feel your longings, every pain that you feel. He feels them just like you, but he can't afford to let you feel only good. Then you can appreciate the good times. Be grateful. So, y'all, we have to be grateful because nothing lasts forever. See, he was right in the beginning. God give it, God take it away. We can't be praising God when things are working out and then don't praise God when things aren't working out. Oh, but when the trouble comes to the preacher, when the trouble comes to the teacher, are we truly believing what we're teaching you? And if we're teaching you, then when we need to be strengthened, guess who strengthens us? You do. So let's finish seeing what Mr. Friend had to say. Mr. Elias, he said, now it's your turn to be in trouble. And you're too stunned to face it because you can't believe it's happening to you. Why not you? Why not you? And I had to ask myself, why not me? Why not me? You worship God and your life was blameless. Y'all, that's me. And so you should have confidence and hope. I should have confidence and hope that everything that I'm seeing, everything that's happening to me, everything that I'm saying, that I'm calling myself, trying to get across to you, I gotta believe this stuff for myself. It says, think back. Name a single case where someone righteous met with disaster. I have seen people plow fields of evil and plant wickedness like seeds. Now they harvest wickedness and evil. Like a storm, God destroys them in his anger. The wicked roar and growl like lions, but God silences them and breaks their teeth. Like lions with nothing to kill and eat, they die, and their children are scattered. Once a message came quietly, so quietly I could hardly hear it. Like a nightmare, it disturbed my sleep. I trembled and shuddered. My whole body shook with fear. A light breeze touched my face and my skin crawled with fright. I could see something standing there. I stared but couldn't tell what it was. Then I heard a voice out of the silence. Can anyone be righteous in the sight of God or be pure before his Creator? God does not trust his heavenly servants. He finds fault even with his angels. Do you think he will trust a creature of clay, a thing of dust that can be crushed like a moth? We may be alive in the morning but die unnoticed before evening comes. All that we have taken away, we die, still lacking wisdom. Call out, Job. See if anyone answers. Is there any angel to whom you can turn? To worry yourself to death with resentment would be a foolish, senseless thing to do. I have seen fools who looked secure, but I called down a sudden curse on their homes. Their children can never find safety. No one stands up to defend them in court. Hungry people will eat the fool's crops, even the grains growing among thorns, and thirsty people will envy his wealth. Evil does not grow in the soil, nor does trouble grow out of the ground. No, indeed, we bring trouble on ourselves as surely as sparks fly upon from a fire. If I were you, I would turn to God and present my case to him. We cannot understand the great things he does, and to his miracles there is no end. He sends rain on the land and he waters the fields. Yes, it is God who raises the humble and gives joy to all who mourn. He upsets them. He upsets the plans of cunning people and traps the wise in their own schemes so that nothing they do succeed. Even at noon they grope in darkness, but God saves the poor from death. He saves the needy from oppression. He gives hope to the poor and silence to the wicked. Happy is the person whom God corrects. Do not resent it when he rebukes you. God badges the wounds he makes. He bandages the wounds he makes. His hands hurt you. His hands heals. Time after time he will save you from harm. When famine comes, he will keep you alive, and in war protect you from death. God will rescue you from slander. He will save you when destruction comes. You will laugh at violence and hunger and not be afraid of wild animals. The fields you plow will be free of rocks. Wild animals will never attack you. Then you will live at peace in your tent. When you look at your sheep, you will find them safe. You will have as many children as there are blades of grass in a pasture, like wheat that ripens till harvest time. You will live to a ripe old age. Job, we have learned this by long study. Is it true? So now accept it. Really? He throwing Job's words back at him. He throwing Job's teachings back at him. He throwing Job's strength back at him. Everything God deposited into Job, Job deposited into them, and they are depositing it into Job. Job is hurting. Job is in pain. Thank God for this, dear friend. Thank God for this, dear friend. He telling you, okay, we gonna go through some things, but look, joy come in the morning. Yes, we gonna go through things God take away, but God also bless. Don't give up now. You Job. You're Job. God loves you. You lived a blameless life. So now, okay, now you in trouble. Okay, now you in trouble. Go to him and ask him why. You know how to go to him better than we do. Ask him why is he doing this thing to you, Job. This is what Job had to say. Out of all this stuff, his dear friend Eliphaz had to say. Job said, if my troubles and grief were weighed on scales, they would weigh more than the sands of the sea. So my wild words should not surprise you. Almighty God has shot me with arrows, and their poison spreads through my body. God has lined up his terrors against me. Job is pissed now, because Job like, what the heck did I do to deserve all this in one day? Job ain't stupid. Job knows something came his way. Then when too many people came at one time, only one person survived. Out of everybody else getting killed, only one person survived. Now all my children gone. Now all my crops gone. Now all my belongings gone. Now my body done broke out with sores. Come on, God got me in his sights. Was Job wrong for saying this? He said, God has lined up his terror against me. A donkey is content when eating grass. A cow is quiet when eating hay. But who can eat flat, unsalted food? What taste is there in the white of an egg? I have no appetite for food like that, and everything I eat make me sick. Why won't God give me what I ask? Why won't he answer my prayer? You think Job went asking God, what the heck up, Lord? You gonna have to answer me. And y'all, sometimes God don't say nothing. Sometimes God don't say nothing. Because let me tell y'all what I learned. If you do this to people, when they get very angry with you and you be silent, they truth come out. The more silent you are, the more truth come out. The more silent you are, the madder they are. The more silent you are, the more vulgar they get. The more you don't say nothing, the more they really, really feel comes out. And it may seem like it's happening because you're not answering, but think about it. If I done did something to offend you, you feel like I done did something to offend you, and we done had these little arguments, do I keep going back and forth with you, or do I be silent to let things settle down? Maybe I got my reason for being silent. Maybe I'm being silent because I love you and I'm trying to save your life. Maybe I'm being silent because I don't want to unleash these words out on you because my words come to pass. Maybe I'm being silent because I love you, but if you be silent and don't argue back with a person, and sometimes don't be so quick to respond, because if you're upset too, you need time to think. So silence is good, but sometimes in silence a person's true nature comes out. He says, why won't God give me what I ask? Why won't he answer my prayer? If only he would go ahead and kill me. If I knew he would, I would leap for joy no matter how great my pain. I know that God is holy. I have never opposed what he commands. What strength do I have to keep on living? Why go on living when I have no hope? Am I made of stone? Is my body bronze? I have no strength left to save myself. There is nowhere I can turn for help. Oh God, I have been there. I have been there. And who gonna help me? Who gonna help me? Y'all, this heart transplant, I have asked myself so many times, who gonna help me? I got an issue that only God can solve. Who's going to help me? In trouble like this, I need loyal friends, whether I forsaken God or not. But you, my friends, you deceive me like streams that go dry when no rain comes. The streams are choked with snow and ice, but in the heat they disappear, and the stream beds lie bare and dry. Cravens get lost looking for water. They wander and die in the desert. Cravens from Sheba and Tilma search, but their hope dies beside dry streams. You are like those streams to me. You see my fate and draw back in fear. Have I asked you to give me a gift, or to bribe someone on my behalf, or to save me from some enemy or tyrant? All right, teach me. Tell me my faults. I will be quiet and listen to you. Honest words are convincing, but you're talking nonsense. You think I'm talking nothing but wind? Then why do you answer my words of despair? You would even roll dice for orphan slaves and make yourselves rich off your closest friends. Look me in my face. I won't lie. You have gone far enough. Stop being unjust. Don't condemn me. I'm in the right, but you think I'm lying. You think I can't tell right from wrong. Human life is like forced army service, like a life of hard manual labor, like a slave longing for cold shade, like a worker waiting to be paid. Month after month, I have nothing to live for. Night after night brings me grief. When I lie down to sleep, the hours drag. I toss all night long for dawn. My body is full of worms. It is covered with scabs. Pus runs out my sores. My days pass by without hope, pass faster than a weaver's shuttle. Remember, O God, my life is only a breath. My happiness has already ended. You see me now, but never again. If you look for me, I'll be gone like a cloud that fades and is gone. We humans die and never return. We are forgotten by all who knew us. No, I can't be quiet. I'm angry and bitter. I have to speak. I gotta say something. I'm pissed off. Why is this freaking happening to me? As good as I've been, as much as I have done, as good as I have been to people, I have lived my life according to your word. I thought I did. Y'all, this is some stuff that I have said. Have y'all been there? I have to speak. He said, I have to say something. Don't tell me not to say what I feel. Don't tell me I'm tripping. Don't tell me I'm tripping now. Y'all don't see what I'm going through. Y'all ain't lost everything I done lost. I done lost every last one of my children. And you want to sit up here and tell me to think positive. I done lost everything I own. And you want to sit up here and tell me to think positive. I have been there. I don't know about y'all, but I have had my Job moment. Why do you keep me under guard? Do you think I am a sea monster? I lie down and try to rest. I look for relief from my pain, but you terrify me with my dreams. You send me visions and nightmares until I would rather be strangled than live in this miserable body. I give up. I'm tired of living. Leave me alone. My life makes no sense. Why are people so important to you? Why pay attention to what they do? You inspect them every morning and test them every minute. Won't you look away long enough for me to swallow my spit? Are you harmed by my sins? You jailer? Why use me for your target practice? Am I so great a burden to you? Can't you ever forgive my sin? Can't you pardon the wrong I do? Soon I will be in my grave and I will be gone when you look for me. Y'all, this was Job's feelings. Oh my God. Oh my God, y'all. I want to cry for Job. I want to cry for Job. That's a lot. Then your body racking with pain. You got sores broken out. Plus, why you sick all of a sudden? So you done lost everything. Now you sick on top of that. And you pussing out. God, this is something demonic. This is something that's not right. And a lot of y'all done been there. Let's see what his friend Bill dad had to say. Because he don't want to hear what Zophar had to say. What his name was? Elizapher. I can't say that name. But that was what he had to say. And then this was Joe's response to him. Now we finna see what Bill dad had to say. He said, are you finally through with your windy speech? God never twists justice. He never fails to do what is right. Your children must have sinned against God, and so he punished them as they deserve. But turn now and plead with Almighty God. If you're so honest and pure, then God will come and help you and restore your household as your reward. All the wealth you lost will be nothing compared with what God will give you then. Look for a moment at ancient wisdom. Consider the truths our ancestors learned. Our life is short. We know nothing at all. We pass like shadows across the earth. But let the ancient wise people teach you. Listen to what they had to say. Reeds can't grow where there is no water. They are never found outside a swamp. If the water dries up, they are the first to wither. While still too small to be cut and used, godless people are like those reeds. Their hope is gone. Once God is forgotten, they trust a thread, a spider's web. If they lean on the web, will it hold them up? If they grab for a thread, will it help them stand? Evil people sprout like weeds in the sun, like weeds that spread all through the garden. Their roots wrap around the stones and hold fast to every rock. But then pull them up. No one will ever know they were there. Yes, that's all the joy evil people have. Others now come to take their places. But God will never abandon the faithful or ever give help to evil people. He will let you laugh and shout again, but he will bring disgrace on those who hate you, and the homes of the wicked will vanish. He trying his best to encourage Job, but let me tell y'all, They ain't saying the right thing to get to Job, right? The other dude, like, it must have been something your children did. Stop blaming yourself for it. We always be trying to figure out why our friends and why our family members going through stuff. Don't this sound like you trying to comfort somebody in pain? And we don't always know the right thing to say, y'all. Sometimes we don't know the right thing to say. This is what Job had to say to Bildad. Yes, I've heard all that before, but how can a human being win a case against God? Like, how am I go up against God? So what you saying, dude? You want me to go up there and get God straight? You want me to tell God to come down here and straighten all these mess out? Like, what you trying to tell me to do? I done heard all this before. How can anyone argue with him? He can ask 1,000 questions that no one could ever answer. God is so wise and powerful, no one can stand up against him. Without warning, he moves mountains, and in anger, he destroys them. God sends earthquakes and shakes the ground. He rocks the pillars that supports the earth. He can keep the sun from rising and the stars from shining at night. No one helped God spread out the heavens or trample the sea monsters back. God hung the stars in the sky, the Dipper, Orion, the Pleiades, and the stars of the south. We cannot understand the great things he does, and to his miracles there is no end. God passes by, but I cannot see him. He takes what he wants, and no one can stop him. No one dares ask him, what are you doing? God's anger is constant. He crushes his enemy. Who helped Rahab, the sea monster, oppose him? Cut the beans off for me, baby. Thank you. God's anger is constant. He crushes his enemies. Who helped Rahab, the sea monster, oppose him? So how can I find words to answer God? Though I am innocent, all I can do is beg for mercy from God, my judge. Yet even then, if he let me speak, I can't believe he would listen to me. He sends storms to batter and bruise me without any reason at all. He won't let me catch my breath. He has filled my life with bitterness. Should I try force on God? Should I take him to court? Can anyone make him go? It says, I am innocent and faithful, but my words sound guilty, and everything I say seems to condemn me. I am innocent, but I no longer care. I am sick of living. Nothing matters. Innocent or guilty, God will destroy us. When an innocent person suddenly dies, God laughs. He laughs when an innocent person dies. Job is gone, y'all. God gave the world to the wicked. He made all the judges blind. And if God didn't do it, who did it? My days race by, not one of them good. My life passes like the swiftest boat, as fast as an eagle swooping down on a rabbit. If I smile and try to forget my pain, all my suffering comes back to hunt me. I know that God does hold me guilty. Since I am held guilty, why should I bother? No soap can wash away any of my sins. God throws me into a pit with filth, and even my clothes are ashamed of me. Do y'all hear that? Even my clothes are ashamed of me. That means he knew the words. He knew to put on the words of God. He knew to put on the garments of God. I must have did something so bad that even the garments of God just didn't want to have nothing to do with me. They got off of me. Job started blaming himself, y'all. Job found himself blameless, but y'all, ain't none of us blameless. We done did something. I feel like I ain't did nothing, but y'all, somewhere down the line, I done did something. Something I'm probably not even aware of, but I ain't innocent. I'm not innocent. Why not you? He says, if I smile and try to forget my pain, all my suffering comes back to haunt me. I know that God does hold me guilty. Since I'm held guilty, why should I bother? No soap can wash away my sin. God throws me into a pit with filth, and even my clothes are ashamed of me. If God were human, I could answer him. We could go to court to decide our quarrel. He felt like God had a problem with him. He felt like him and God was in a quarrel. But there is no one to step between us. No one to judge both God and me. Stop punishing me, God. Keep your terrors away. I'm not afraid. I'm going to talk because I know my own heart. Oh my God, I have had these conversations. I'm tired of living. Listen to my bitter complaint. Don't condemn me, God. Tell me, what is the charge against me? Is it right for you to be so cruel to despise what you yourself have made and then to smile on the schemes of the wicked people? Do you see things as we do? Is your life as short as ours? Then why do you track down all my sins and hunt down every fault I have? You know that I am not guilty, that no one can save me from you. This man knew. Oh my God. This man was talking to God. And y'all, I tell y'all, these are the conversations that I have with God inside myself. When I feel like I haven't done no wrong. When I feel like I'm being tested. When I feel like I'm being tried. When I'm put in the fire. These are the inner conversations that I have. He says, your hands formed and shaped me, and now those same hands destroy me. Remember that you made me from clay. Are you going to crush me back to the dust? You gave my father strength to beget me. You made me grow in my mother's womb. You formed my body with bones and sinews and covered the bones with muscles and skin. You have given me life and constant love, and your care has kept me alive. But now I know that all that time you were secretly planning to harm me. You were watching to see if I would sin so that you could refuse to forgive me. As soon as I sin, I am in trouble with you. But when I do right, I get no credit. I am miserable and covered with shame. If I have any success at all, you hunt me down like a lion to hurt me. You even work miracles. You always have some witness against me. Your anger towards me grows and grows. You always plan some new attack. Why, God, did you let me be born? I should have died before anyone saw me. To go from the womb straight to the grave would have been as good as never existing. Isn't my life almost over? Leave me alone. Let me enjoy the time I have left. I'm going soon, and I will never come back. Going to a land that is dark and gloomy, a land of darkness, shadows, and confusion, where the light itself, darkness. Oh my God, Job. Oh my God, Job is in so much pain, y'all. Job is in so much pain. This is what his friend Zophar had to say. Will no one answer all this nonsense? Does talking so much put you in the right? Job, do you think we can't answer you? That your marking words will leave us speechless? You claim that what you say is true. You claim you are pure in the sight of God. How I wish God would answer you. He would tell you there are many sides to wisdom. There are things too deep for human knowledge. God is punishing you less than you deserve. Can you discover the limits and bounds of the greatness and power of God? The sky is no limit for God, but it lies beyond your reach. God knows the world of the dead. but you do not know it. God's greatness is broader than the earth, wider than the sea. If God arrests you and brings you to trial, where is there to stop him? God knows which people are worthless. He sees all their evil deeds. Stupid people will start being wise when wild donkeys are born tame. Put your heart right, Job. Reach out to God. Put away evil and wrong from your home. Then face the world again, firm and courageous. Then all your troubles will fade from your memory like floods that are past and remembered no more. Your life will be brighter than sunshine at noon, and life's darkest hour will shine like the dawn. You will live secure and full of hope. God will protect you and give you rest. You won't be afraid of your enemies. Many people will ask you for help, but the wicked will look around in despair and find that there is no way to escape. Their one hope is that death will come. This is what Job had to say to Zophar. Yes, you are the voice of the people. When you die, wisdom will die with you. But I have as much sense as you have. I am in no way inferior to you. Everyone knows all that you have said. Even my friends laugh at me now. They laugh, although I am righteous and blameless. But there was a time when God answered my prayers. You have no troubles, and yet you make fun of me. You hit someone who is about to fall. But these and godless people live in peace. Through their only God is their own strength. Even birds and animals have much they could teach you. Ask the creatures of the earth and see for their wisdom. All of them know that the Lord's hand made them. It is God who directs the lives of his creatures. Everyone's life is in his power. But just as your tongue enjoys tasting food, your ears enjoy hearing words. Old people have wisdom, but God has wisdom and power. Old people have insight. God has insight and power to act. When God tears down, God can rebuild. Who can be free from those God imprisons? Drought comes when God withholds rain. Floods come when he turns water loose. God is strong and always victorious. Both deceive and deceiver are in his power. He takes away the wisdom of rulers and makes leaders act like fools. He dethrones kings and makes them prisoners. He humbles priests and men of power. He silences those who are trusted and takes the wisdom of old people away. He disgraces those in power and puts an end to the strength of rulers. He sends light to places dark as death. He makes nations strong and great, but then he defeats and destroys them. He makes their leaders foolish and lets them wander confused and lost. They grope in the dark and stagger like drunkards. Everything you say I have heard before. I understand it all. I know as much as you do. I am not your inferior, but my dispute is with God, not you. I want to argue my case with him. You cover up your ignorance with lies. You are like doctors who can't heal anyone. Say nothing. Someone may think you are wise. Listen while I state my case. Why are you lying? Do you think your lies will benefit God? Are you trying to defend him? Are you going to argue his case in court? If God looks at you closely, will he find anything good? Do you think you can fool God the way you fool others? Even though your prejudice is hidden, he will reprimand you, and his power will fill you with terror. Your proverbs are useless as ashes. Your arguments are as weak as clay. Be quiet and give me a chance to speak, and let the results be what they will. I am ready to risk my life. I've lost all hope. So what if God kills me? I'm going to state my case to him. It may even be that my boldness will save me, since no wicked person would dare to face God. Now listen to my words of explanation. I am ready to state my case because I know I am in the right. Are you coming to accuse me, God? If I do, I am ready to be silent and die. Let me ask for two things. Agree to them, and I will try to hide from you. Stop punishing me, and don't crush me with terror. Speak first, O God, and I will answer, or let me speak, and you answer me. What are my sins? What wrongs have I done? What crimes am I charged with? Why do you avoid me? Why do you treat me like an enemy? Are you trying to frighten me? I'm nothing but a leaf. You are attacking a piece of dry straw. You bring bitter charges against me, even for what I did when I was young. You bind chains on my feet. You watch every step I take and even examine my footprints. As a result, I crumble like rotten wood, like a moth-eaten coat. We are all born weak and helpless. All led the same short, troubled life. We grow and wither as quickly as flowers. We disappear like shadows. Will you even look at me, God? Or put me on trial or judge me? Nothing clean can ever come for anything as unclean as human beings. Nothing clean can ever come from anything as unclean as human beings. The length of our lives is decided beforehand. The number of months we will live. You have settled it, and it can't be changed. Look away from us and leave us alone. Let us enjoy our hard life if we can. There is hope for a tree that has been cut down. It can come back to life and sprout. Even through its roots grow old, and its stump dies in the ground. With water it will sprout like a young plant, but we die. And that is the end of us. We die. And where are we then? And we're going to stop right there and continue another time. Y'all, I didn't notice how deep Job went. Job is hurt. Job has lost his faith now. It's like they just kept pushing and kept pushing. They pushed Job to this point. I think if you keep poking a bear, eventually it's going to bite. Why get upset if you kept poking it and it bit? Y'all, I got a problem with Job. Somebody leave some comments on here with me. Should I keep on reading Job or should I stop right there? Because that devil was walking, minding his own business. And this God said, have you considered my servant Job? He loved me. He avoided doing evil all the time. And the devil said, he only doing it because you give him everything and you guard everything. And then God said, well, how about you go test him then? Why did God do that to Job? Why God making this type of pain come from Job? Why God pulling these type of emotions out of Job? Because God started this, y'all. Or did Job start this? By always being in fear of losing what he had, meaning he was never content. Was Job always righteous? Who did Job hang around? You know, depending on what type of company you keep, depends on what type of person you are, what type of righteousness you carry. Where did Job like to go? What did Job do in his pastime? What did Job think in his silent thinking? It's deep. It had to be a reason. If it's not two gods in this Bible, because I'm thinking it's two entities in this Bible. It's one that like to kill, and it's one that like to make alive. It's one that like to destroy, and it's one that like to build. It's one that want to put you in hell, and it's one that want to give you life forever and ever and ever. It's very confusing when you're reading this word. That's why you need to read this word for yourself and only take what resonates with you. Remember, this is the inspired word of God given to man. And man wrote this down the best way he can. But y'all, I feel like they put this in Job. But thank God Job had some friends. Even though they weren't all saying the right things, they was saying some right stuff. They was trying to encourage Job. Believe in the God that you serve. Don't fall, Job. Don't give up, Job. It could be other reasons, Job. It's so many levels to wisdom. I just left a video when people saying, why God letting these children die? If he's so real, why he letting this world go to hell? Is he letting the world go to hell? Y'all ain't understanding the wisdom. Y'all don't see what the unseen is doing. We so focused on what's not working, we have lost sight of everything that has worked and everything that is working. And what we was doing that was making things work, we stopped doing and started trying to figure out how to make stuff work when we already had to figure out. Instead of us being, we're trying to figure out how to be. So did Job bring all of this on himself from his thinking? Since the way a man thinks, it creates his own reality. Did Job create this reality? And this is what happens in the background, in the reality, when we think negative. When we are a godly person and we belong to God. So God says, okay, you could test my servant. I feel like I have been tested. I lost my child before. I feel like I have been through a lot. I have been SA. I have been through the foster system. But still, I won't turn. But still, I don't want to be ugly. But still, people treat me bad. But I don't want to be like them. It's disgusting to me. And I'm not going to give up on God because I've seen God save me. I've seen things and I can't jump ship because something went off, because something went bad. Now, I don't want to be tested the way Job was tested. But a test is a test, y'all. And I have been tested. I have been tested. I'm being tested now. Like he said, you watch every move I make, y'all, with this heart transplant. I feel like a magnifying glass is on me. I feel like I can't mess up. I'm so conscious of what I do. I cannot help it because I feel like this was such a big gift. Like, why me? Why me? So many other people needed a heart. Famous people needed a heart. But instead he gave it to little old me. I haven't done anything great. But y'all, I know I love God with all my heart and soul. I know I love him. Oh God, I love him. I believe in the acts that he have sent down here. I believe in the scriptures. Don't matter if they made up or not. I take what resonate with me. I take what make me feel good. I take what resonates. And y'all, I have been in Job's shoes. I have asked God, why? Why are you taking me through this? Just let me go. Just leave me alone. You can feel it. You can feel when you in the fire. You can feel when you being tested. You could see the same energy if you had skin on it. You could trap the damn thing. You could see that it keep doing. You could see that it's trying to make you do something. But y'all, everybody got a breaking point. But because you have a breaking point, does that mean that's your heart? Are you just freaking tired? So y'all, we're going to continue to read Job another time. I stopped on chapter 14. So we're going to start on chapter 15 the next time. And this 15 is Eliphaz speaking again. And it's the second dialogue. And out of all this stuff that Job said, Eliphaz say, empty words, Job, empty words. No one is wise who would talk the way you do, or defend himself with such meaningless words. Don't defend yourself, y'all. Let others defend you. Let God defend you. Don't brag on your own goodness. Don't think that you so good your doo-doo don't stink. That's what Job doing. And he ain't realizing. I'm getting it and I'm not getting it. But y'all, we're going to come back for part 2 of Job. And we're going to start at chapter 15 with Eliphaz saying, empty words, Job, empty words. Because Job been saying all this stuff. And all them been saying nonsense, Job. Oh, God. Okay, Job. Oh, you stunned? Now it's happening to you. You're stunned. I had to do that. Now it's happening to you, Tasha. You surprised? I had to remember. I offer myself as a living sacrifice. I ask God to use me. I don't get to choose how he get to use me. And he got to use me for his glory. He got to use things with me to confound the wise. So right now I'm a tool. And I love being a tool from God for God. I'm God's mouthpiece. I'm God's love. I'm God's righteousness. I'm his kindness. I'm his temperance. I'm his countenance right now. I'm projecting God. I'm expressing God. I'm being God. I'm loving God. I am who I am. Get it? So we gonna dig deeper and see why did these two jokers do this to Job. Oh, I'm feeling so sorry for Job. He hurt, y'all. He hurt. He hurt so bad. Oh, we gonna pray for Job. We gonna pray for Job. You going through your Job experience, I pray right now for strength for you. I pray that you have friends next to you. I pray that God send a ram in the bush. I pray that God send a word by to get you to remember. I pray that God send a memory to get you to remember. I pray that God send remembrance by and strength and courage and confidence and faith and glory and mercy and victory and love and humbleness and meekness and kindness and gentleness. Holy Spirit, have your way. Comfort the people that are going through their Job moment. Comfort them. Open their ears. Give them a spirit to hear. Give them a heart to receive. Give them the mind to understand. Don't give up, y'all Jobs. Don't give up. I love you.